OCR remains the same. What about looking forward though? And do you fix long now? I'm going to get into that right now. And really, what was some of the thinking? Like, hey, come on already. The economy is struggling here. Give us a break, right? But there are reasons. There are good reasons why the OCR didn't go down. But if we look at the OCR of past, man, we have been through a bit of a roller coaster, really, when you look at the last few years, right? A bit of a roller coaster. Now, what about what was said with this committee that didn't decide to drop the rates? Well, one thing that kind of played into it is that inflation is expected to kind of rise around now, or be high. I mean, we know that when we go to the supermarket, right? So, however, inflation probably expected to go down within a more comfortable level by the end of this year and early next year. So a little while to go yet before the Reserve Bank is feeling a lot more comfortable. Okay. In saying that, they obviously did recognise that domestic consumption remains weak. They did recognise that, surprisingly, that protectionism, the Trump-esque effect globally, probably actually could have less inflationary pressure, which is good. So, you know, imports might actually be cheaper if you don't have room for stuff to go to the US, maybe it comes here. But in the short term, the global supply chain, that is something that could come under pressure, because obviously if there's less things moving around, ships and stuff, you know, the cost of that could increase. So that's still a little bit uncertain. And of course, the big uncertainty now is global energy prices, okay? Because we don't know now what will happen out with these new wars breaking out and whatnot, and a lot of tension across the globe. So the committee agreed to hold the OCR. Now, what would you do right now if you're thinking about fixing? Well, the real question is, do you fix long or short? Because that is something that everyone's kind of waiting for that, right? Of course, my advice is always that, I'll tell you what my advice is officially, and then I'll tell you what my gut feeling is, right? Which I don't normally like to do. But technically, of course, you should talk to a decent financial advisor like ourselves and get some tailor-made advice, really, because mortgage advisors, most of us are free of charge, really. We're paid by the suppliers, the banks, the lenders. So there's no harm in having a good chat to a good financial advisor. And if you're not getting the right service, look around, get other financial advisors on board and see who's good. We're obviously available on monline.co.nz. But my gut feeling on what's going to happen is that those 3 to 5 year fixed rates, I actually feel like they're not looking too bad. Like, you know, there was a time when anything below a 5% was considered a really great rate. Anything close to a 5% was actually quite nice long-term fixed rates. So I would actually seriously start to consider that, especially if your income relative to the size of your home loan is not comfortable, and you're happy to live where you are for the next foreseeable future, for the next 4 years, 3 years, then you would seriously consider bringing some stability into the portfolio and having maybe 50 to 80% of your home loan fixed at a mid to longer term. If you are expecting a decrease in income in a year's time, right? Let's say you're about to have a baby. Now, you can't have the interest rate coming up in a year and having that uncertainty. It's just not comfortable. It's not nice. But so there are definitely certain use case scenarios where it's just a no-brainer. You should fix some of your home loan over the long term, right? But you can kind of take a gamble as well. If your home loan is pretty small relative to your income, you can weather a storm. Then you can go short and ride it out, wait for the low end. But I can guarantee you one thing though: you'll only be able to tell what the low point was retrospectively, right? You never know when you're in it. So yeah, that's my advice to you. But hey, Thanks for watching. Hamish at monline.co.nz.